The debate over who was the best or worst president of the United States is endless. But when it comes to subterfuge, lies, intimidation, hypocrisy, and corruption, few can rival Lyndon B Johnson. Who was LBJ, and why do some revere him while others revile him? Hello, I'm Danish, veteran and historian, and welcome to this episode of History Did That. Lyndon B Johnson was born on August 27, 1908 in Gillespie County, Texas, the eldest of 5 children. His upbringing was modest. His father was a farmer, businessman, and Texas state legislator, but young Lyndon quickly learned the art of politics. Ambition ran deep in his family, and Johnson would carry that drive into every stage of his life. In 1934, he married Claudia Alta Lady Bird Taylor. Her wealth and influence not only boosted his social standing, but gave him access to political circles that would help him rise quickly. By 1937, Johnson was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, marking the start of a meteoric rise in American politics, fueled as much by charm and intimidation as by policy knowledge. When World War II broke out, Johnson briefly served in the Navy and was awarded a Silver Star for a 1942 mission in New Guinea. Yet historians agree his combat record was largely exaggerated. Johnson never faced direct combat, but he wore the medal proudly for the rest of his life, earning the nickname Raider Johnson and building a carefully constructed image of heroism. In 1948, Johnson narrowly won a Senate seat by just 87 votes in a highly controversial election. This razor-thin victory, later known as the Box 13 scandal, showcased his political ruthlessness. He became a master legislator, capable of uniting Democrats and even collaborating with Republican President Eisenhower, but his personal life and network of associates were often scandalous. Family drama also played a role in his story. His sister, Josefa, lived a troubled life, marked by divorce, addiction, and ties to shady associates like Mac Wallace, rumored to be Johnson's hitman. In 1951, Wallace shot John Kinzer, a man connected to Josefa, and through Johnson's influence, Wallace's conviction was effectively nullified. At the same time, Johnson maintained relationships with controversial businessmen like Billy Sol Estes, whose large-scale fraud schemes had Johnson's tacit approval. These alliances of power, intimidation, and corruption would follow Johnson throughout his career. By 1960, as he prepared to join John F. Kennedy on the Democratic ticket, Johnson had to present a flawless public image. Josefa's mysterious death, no autopsy conducted, removed a potential liability, and investigations into his associates quietly disappeared. Conspiracy theorists later suggested that Johnson may have been involved in JFK's assassination to protect himself from scrutiny, though no evidence has ever been proven. Despite these controversies, Johnson's presidency included monumental legislative achievements. He signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, ending legal segregation in public spaces and ensuring equal voting rights. He also launched the ambitious Great Society programs, including Medicare, Medicaid, Head Start, and anti-poverty initiatives. While these programs helped many, critics argue they often fostered dependency rather than creating lasting empowerment. Johnson's foreign policy remains even more controversial. He escalated the Vietnam War, despite his public claims that American troops would not be sent to fight a conflict South Vietnamese forces should handle. Johnson and his allies held investments in the military-industrial complex, and the Gulf of Tonkin incident gave him the political pretext to expand the war, benefiting both his political power and financial interests. The war would ultimately cost thousands of American and millions of Vietnamese lives, leaving a deep stain on his legacy. Johnson's personal wealth also expanded dramatically during his presidency. By 1973, he was reportedly worth nearly $100 million, almost $900 million today. His legacy, therefore, is a complicated mix: groundbreaking civil rights and social programs on the one hand, and corruption, war, and political manipulation on the other. Critics argue Johnson used legislation primarily to secure political loyalty, particularly for black voters, and that many of his programs unintentionally caused long-term social issues. Supporters, however, credit him with expanding civil rights, health care, and education in ways no other president had before. Johnson's story is a mix of achievement and moral ambiguity. He was a visionary lawmaker, but also ruthless, manipulative, and deeply self-interested. Was he the worst president, or simply one of the most complex and controversial figures in American history? Thank you for watching History Did That. Please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Send us comments and show ideas, and we'll respond. Until next time.